Hello, everyone. This is Wrestling Discussion here. So, I've been watching a little bit more of AEW lately, All Elite Wrestling, and you watch it, and I've been a fan. I've watched since its inception. I bought the first pay per view, the first Double or Nothing back in 2019, and I've been watching on and off ever since. And unfortunately, the show seems to be in decline, lessening viewers over the years, lessening fans and attendance, unfortunately. And you watch it, and you know, the booking is it can get repetitive. You watch some of these wrestlers, and a lot of them are in the same spot with the company they started in, seemingly not getting more over and just seemingly being stuck in a rut. And it makes you wonder, what can fix this? And I was thinking about it, and I thought of a few things. One, stop running big venues. Stop running the 10, 15, 20,000 seat venues, and then only putting like 2 to 3,000 in there, if that. That's a mistake. I think you have to be honest with yourself. Look, WWF, WWE, WWF back in the day, now WWE, for a long time in the 80s and early to mid 90s, they ran high school gyms. They did house shows in high school gyms. They did TV in high school gyms, even. You look back into some of those mid 90 venues when business was low, and there's not a whole lot of people in there. It's a smaller venue. Luckily, a smaller venue does mean that the crowd can, be a little bit more hot. You look at a Hammerstein ballroom, something like that. A smaller venue with less fans makes it easier to fill up, and it does make, as I said, the crowd seem more hot, which I think AEW could use a little bit more of right now. I don't think it's necessarily a horrible thing to just take a step back and run some smaller venues. I just don't. Another thing I would change is I would definitely run house shows. Now, some of you are going to say to me, maybe some of you will say, if you listen to all this, you'll say, well, they can't even fill up a regular arena on, a TV night. Why would you now do house shows? Well, you do house shows in smaller venues, too. If you're in a city, you do a house show venue and a few smaller venues before TV. You book some high school gyms. You do what you have to. Some event centers, whatever you have to. Do 3 of them running into TV. That way, your talent gets more reps, more practice. The matches on TV and matches on pay-per-view are better because they've had a chance to run them on house shows to really test the waters and see what they can do with each other. That was the old school method back in the day. You didn't see a match on TV, especially a pay-per-view, until they've ran that match back many, many times on the house show circuit to where they've practiced it. They know what works. It would make your TV product better, is what I'm saying. And, they have such a bloated roster. I think the last time I checked, last time I heard, it was well over 100 wrestlers on contract there in AEW. And you think about it, you got Dynamite, that's 2 hours. You got Rampage, which I think is going away. And you got Collision. I'm not sure what Collision's going to be doing streaming-wise once streaming starts. Well, apparently AEW wants to do a new show called Shockwave. I just saw that. I'm not sure what the story is there. But there's only so many wrestlers you can have on TV. There's only so many wrestlers that are over and that are worthy of TV. House shows would at least give more wrestlers on your roster a chance to work, to get more reps in. And look, house shows, I think, let you ingratiate yourself within, that town, that city, right? If you go to Cincinnati or you go to Lexington or you go to Indianapolis or something, you got Dynamite on Wednesday night. Run a little 3 or 4 show house loop before it. Not everyone has to work every single night. You have such a roster there that you can book and give wrestlers rest if you need it. But, the local high school gyms, the local event centers, the local, armories, wherever, local gyms. There's plenty of big gyms out there where you can fit a ring in. And you can put 100 people in to watch. Point is, it gives your talent more reps. And then if you do the local ad sales with the radio and, little TV commercials, whatever. Ingratiate yourself with the town. Word of mouth matters. You get the local DJ at one of the house shows. They put in a nice word for you. They say nice things on the Facebook, the social media, on the radio, and suddenly maybe a few more people in that city go, well, okay, they had a nice time. Maybe I'd like to go buy a ticket to this. Maybe I'd like to give that a try. And another thing I would consider is I would seriously start limiting the amount of hardcore matches that you see. Not necessarily just hardcore matches, but, the anything goes sort of rule, where every match gets a table spot, every match gets chairs, every match gets, this, that, the other. When putting your opponent through a table becomes the equivalent of a side headlock, it's lost its luster, right? I think you seriously have to consider sort of taking some of that away, taking some of that back. I've thought to myself, what if you just put a moratorium on a table spot for like a year, 2 years? No one goes through a table at all. Then after a year, 2 years, the next time you put someone through a table, that thing gets a pop because it actually matters. That's something to consider too. That's something to consider, I think. But that's all for this one, guys. Thanks.